Everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I'm going to be mixing all of my foundation together and we're going to see if that's the best idea ever or the most stupid one. I believe Safiya was the first one to do this, so I will be linking her channel down below. She's amazing if you don't know her. So I believe I have like 30 foundations. I made you vote in my community tab to decide what version I would be doing. You voted for me to mix all of them, so that's what we're doing today. But I will be doing upcoming like very soon, so don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna be mixing all my favorite ones, top 3 or 5 or something, and slap that on half my face and mix my least favorite ones on the other half of my face and wear that throughout the day, so you certainly don't want to miss that too. So clearly right now I'm at my Fairest. We're in the middle of winter. I haven't seen the sun in days, and some of my foundations I only have my summer shades, for example, so I know for a fact that this mixture is going to be way too dark for me. That's what sweaters are for, right? I'm really curious to see what the mixture is going to look like because colors are different, undertones are different. Obviously there's some of them that are like water-based, silicone-based, so they probably shouldn't be mixed together. But maybe it's going to be amazing, and I'm really hoping it's going to actually work for me. Some of them I actually haven't even tried yet, so it's going to be the ultimate first impression video. Plus some of them are like ultimate all-time favorite foundation, never want to live a day without them, and then some of them I just don't really care for them. The best part is that they all have different finish and different coverage. A lot of these are like light coverage, glowy, moisturizing foundation from when I had perfect skin and dry skin, and then a lot of the most recent ones are like fuller coverage, very matte, and basically completely different. So I'm actually pretty curious to see what the finish and coverage is going to be like. So this is what we are now stuck with, and honestly I expected this to be like a bigger quantity, I guess, because there's so many, but I didn't want to waste anything, so I only did 1 pump of each, and this is what we have. We can definitely see that there's like a few different colors and like none of them pretty much match me right now. So I'm gonna be mixing them and then we're gonna see what the consistency looks like. This is what we have. I think the color is actually not that bad. It's obviously gonna be a bit too dark, but I expected it to be way too dark, so we're not too bad. So to prime my skin, I've been really loving using this really destroyed Urban Decay makeup rehab. This is basically hydrating gel, like it's literally moisturizer. But even though I have oily skin, my skin is really dehydrated because, once again, winter. Actually, let me insert a clip of what it looks like outside right now. It's like snowstorm. So I need to make sure I moisturize my skin just because it might be oily, it's still dehydrated, and I tend to get dry patches, especially around my nose or in between my brows. And I don't want to accuse that mixture of foundation to be the reason my skin looks like that. So we're gonna make sure everything is moisturized. I'm honestly pretty nervous, but I'm kind of excited by the texture. It seems like very normal foundation texture, so I'm gonna be using a brand new beauty blender to apply it because that's how I usually apply my foundation, and I want to try to like do it as normal as I can do it right now. So I'm gonna apply this. Oh, it definitely seems to be a little too yellow for me. I feel like I have a pretty neutral undertone, but the lighter I am, I feel like the cooler I kind of look. But maybe once I blend it, it should be okay. I'm really curious about the coverage. We're gonna check that out. Actually, let me zoom you in. We're gonna blend it down to the neck because the sweater's gonna hide the rest of the body, but gotta make sure that the neck at least kind of matches. Seems to have pretty decent coverage. Like, look at this, like not bad at all. Like, unless I have like full coverage foundation, this would be pretty hard to cover. I would usually, like if I want like coverage, I'll usually just apply a little bit of foundation and then use concealer wherever I need more. But it seems to be doing a pretty good job, and I have this one too. We're gonna test the coverage on it too. I kind of like the texture, like it doesn't feel heavy, and some of those foundations are quite heavy. I think the mixture of like full coverage and lighter coverage is making pretty good texture. Just adding a little bit more. I applied way too much on my forehead just to see if we can cover. Okay, so it doesn't feel heavy on my skin. I would say the coverage is probably medium. You can see a little bit of that hyperpigmentation like peeking through, but it's not too bad. Same here. You can see it a little bit, but it's nothing terrible. I have to be honest, I feel like I can already tell that it's going to be emphasizing any dehydration I have, because I feel like I can kind of see it a little bit. I'll go zoom you in a second, but I can kind of see kind of how it feels right now. The color isn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. So maybe you're going to see it. There's a little bit like of a dry patch here. You can kind of see it right now. I don't know if it's going to get better or worse during the day. The finish is actually pretty luminous. I do have a few like dewy foundations since I used to have really dry skin, and that's literally all I wore. But it seemed to at the same time be kind of matte. It feels weird. I'm assuming it's just a mix of both, but hopefully the oils will not peek through too quickly. I'm gonna add a bit of concealer and some powder because that's what I usually do. Although I won't be covering my pimples, just my under eyes. But usually I would say that my foundation, I need to apply powder after like 5 hours. I have really oily skin. But I'm curious to see if I'm gonna have to touch it up quicker or not compared to usual. I would be surprised because usually I use like pretty good foundations for that. And if it lasts me 5-6 hours, a really bad one would probably last me like 3. So I'll definitely keep you updated. For the powder, I'm just gonna use the Cover FX one, because that's the one I usually use, clearly, because I don't have much left. It's definitely mattifying the finish, but I won't be able to judge the foundation if I don't do it, because I always apply powder now, so wouldn't be fair. The finish is actually really nice. I don't feel like it emphasized my pores whatsoever. A little bit of dryness as I was showing earlier, but otherwise my cheeks are looking pretty damn good. The coverage could be a little bit more full coverage, clearly, but otherwise I think it looks not bad. It's actually making me very curious about the other video I want to do with just my favorite ones. I might make like my ultimate favorite foundation or just a monster. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, and I will be updating you throughout the day to show you natural lighting what it looks like, but so far not too bad. So I've been wearing the foundation for 3 hours, and honestly I expected my skin to be at this point on the oily side, because I do feel like there's a little bit, like I'm starting to feel a little bit of like, you know, the oil trying to peek through, but I still don't look oily. I barely look a little bit of shine. It's like healthy shine, healthy glow. It still doesn't like feel oily. So I'm impressed. I expected at this point to the foundation to start breaking down everything, but so far so good. I will keep you updated because I'm expecting maybe towards like 5-6 hours and might start being a little bit more oily, but so far so good. I'm pleasantly surprised. The dry patches, let me zoom you in once again. The dry patches are definitely, like you can see them, but it's not as bad as it could be. Like even in between my brows, it's not that bad. Okay. Do you feel like it might have oxidized it a little bit? Like it obviously is too dark for me right now, but I feel like it got a little bit darker than it was. Probably because I have a few foundations that, like a few CoverGirl ones that I know oxidize, so that's probably not helping. But I think it's pretty good. Like if you don't look at my hands, it kind of looks like my shade, so not bad. I've been wearing this foundation for about 6 hours now, and I wanted to update you because I am shocked. Like, I'm shocked. But really, like, my skin is not looking that oily at this point. Like, if the foundation were to be like bad, I would be like an oily mess right now. But the lights tend to make me look more shiny than I am, but like, there's barely any glow. I don't understand. I do feel like the foundation is starting to settle a little bit into my pores, and I feel like it's sitting a little bit on my skin. Like if I were to like take even like a dry wipe, I feel like I could remove most of the foundation. So comfort wise, it could be a little bit better, but overall, I don't even understand what's going on right now. Like, what is life? So from this super zoom, you can kind of see a little bit in my pores, but honestly, it's really not that bad. There's a little bit of shine. It's still a little bit here, you can see it a bit, but I expected this video to be like a big old mess and just, you know, having fun and everything, and right now I'm like, well, maybe, but like I'm not, realistically I'm not going to do this on a daily basis, or even, maybe I could actually make myself a full foundation, but I think I'm like curious to see which foundation actually made this happen. There's like 2 of the ones that were included that I haven't tried yet, and now I'm like, are they like this good that they made the whole thing work better? Although there's also a few holy grails in there. Like, I don't understand. I'm gonna continue wearing it. I'm gonna try to do like 8-10 hours, which I mean a real wear test would have to be this long, but like I like it. It's not perfect, but I like it a lot. I'm not gonna touch it up. Usually at this point I would add more powder, but we're just gonna let it go on its own. And like, I'm looking at myself, I'm sorry, but like, how? I'm giving up for now. I'll see you later. Last update of the day. I've been wearing this foundation for 10 hours and I cannot deal with it. How? Like, you can see like it's oily on my forehead and definitely starting to like be oily, but it's so not bad. I don't get it. Basically what I'm telling you is that I really like it. It's not perfect, but I really like it. So if you want to do the same, you just have to buy 30 foundations and mix them together, you know? If you want that simple foundation routine. Basically on a normal day, I could just like touch it up with a bit of powder and it would still be good to go. However, I want to mention that I feel like my cheek products are not looking so great. I do have a few, like just the pimples peeking through, but I do feel like it's a little bit patchy on the cheeks, but like zoomed you in, you can see like the oil on my forehead, obviously. And there's a few dry patches, but it's really not that bad. My chin definitely, oh, I definitely ate. You can see the redness is definitely more obvious. There's less coverage at this point. And it's less dry. There's less dry patches, but there's more oil at this point. So overall, I'm giving this technique a thumbs up. Definitely not an everyday thing. Definitely not something I'm actually ever going to redo. However, I'm super excited for the other version that I'm going to be doing with mixing my favorite ones and my least favorite ones to do half off my face. Let's be real, I'm less excited about the least favorite ones, but I feel like maybe I should experiment more with mixing my favorite foundations and I might like create the optimal foundation. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It helps other people find it. Maybe I will wear this foundation again in the future. Maybe. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future videos. I will be putting on the screen some of the videos that I've done that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.